AM 560. The Answer.
You know, when you hear of a professor like that moron in Arkansas, I did not know she was black. Racism. That's the problem with racism. See, I hate white people, too. I do. Really, I hate the Marxists and the communists and the socialists. I can't stomach those rat bastards. Not to mention the Democrat voters for... You didn't know? He had soiled his Nassau-made trousers? You couldn't figure that out? Morons. Verlon!
What's going on, Shaun? It's a happy day today. Letitia James charged with mortgage fraud. Comey's charged with perjury. I would like for both of them to go to jail, but I don't think they will. Letitia James doesn't.
First of all, you did it again. I got the clip right in front of me. Let's do it together, shall we? I mean,
all right.
Letitia. 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 I don't see a no Letitia. No All right, go ahead.
Okay, I would hope for both of them to go to jail, but I don't think that's going to happen. Letitia does not have the money to pay a fine, so I hope her and Comey lose their law license so they can never practice law again. Now, my question to you is, what do you want to happen? What do you want to happen, and what do you think's going to happen?
Well, first of all, I want every asset that she perpetrated fraud to be seized. Everything. You know, the real people in the country don't get to do all this. So it reminds me, you know, in my neighborhood it's called a spacone. You know what a spacone is? A spacone walks around, he pretends he's got money, pretends he did something in his life, whether he's a trust fund baby, maybe he's like a Pritzker. Pritzker's a little short, fat spacone. Never made $1 in his life. Never. Not a man. Letitia, you got real estate over here, you got real estate over there, you got a 5 flat, you got a 6, walking around like a real estate mogul, huh? Letitia, you're just a scumbag. You're just a fraudster. I want to see her on the corner with a big tin cup. Maybe that's the way we can get her to shrink down that panzone. She's got a belly button, needs a hubcap, that fat slob. What is it about they get big, the big woman, big? I say it's a yardstick of ass crap.
She's eating good. She makes enough money to eat good.
Dude, you better hope she never stumbles upon you all dolled up in the suit. It's over with. She'll be using you like floss.
I hope Pam Bondi's listening to us right now, because if she can, I hope she can up the charge to abuse of power of their office. That'll be a good charge.
Come on. Just on behalf of the toilet seats alone in that building. That's abuse of power. She was snapping those fracking things like Pritzker. Thanks for the call there, Verlon. Letitia. Jim in Lake Forest.
Hey, Shaun, great show. I listen to you every day.
Oh, thanks.
Just wanted to jump in on something with your previous guest was talking about the cost of higher education, and I see this, and it just blows me away, because I went to undergrad and graduate school back in the late '60s at Indiana University, but I was fortunate enough to be able to work in the steel mills in Gary from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And with that, I could pay for room, board, tuition, books, entertainment, and a car for the whole time.
And you were a man. And you got to be a man.
Yeah. And I tell people that today, and they shake their heads. They're just like, oh, my gosh.
There is an article written in The Objectivist, I think it's like 1964 or 5, Ayn Rand, who had at the time The Objectivist, and people would write in. And she had done a complete section on the reason that is so good on many levels, not just because you're paying for your education, but because you are stepping into adulthood. You are funding and financing yourself. You now, because you did that, you have character where you're not going to be wooed. Really, that's what it is, Jim. This is what our whole society had. And think about it. When you went to college, and even before, what was the slogan in college? Better dead than red. Meaning, I'd rather die than be a communist. That was what our colleges used to be when you went. And
exactly.
Look at and this was the Saul Alinsky genius of wrapping mafia tactics in ideological tissue paper. That's what he did. And he knew, and look at the Weather Underground. Where did those communist terrorists go? They went to college.
Exactly.
Right? And
Became
Antifa.
professors. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
today, Antifa is a terrorist. Well, where does Antifa really live? All of a sudden, nobody knows where the financing comes. I know where the financing comes. It comes from colleges. It comes from donors. It comes from ex-communists and Marxists and the Weather Underground. After all, they're all old now, right? And you remember the Weather Underground, that scumbag who's married to Bernadine Dorn. His father was the CEO of GE. Big trust fund, baby.
Oh, yeah. You got it.
Big trust fund, baby. So they have that legacy money. And that's where it comes. And now they've got their army of Antifa. But the good news is, Jim, Antifa was designated a domestic terrorist organization today. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I do. Yes, and that's great. You bet.
And you and your family, you've been able to pass that on. And it's not the money I speak of. It's the character. So now your grandkids can say, my grandfather put himself through school, bought a car, and was a man at 20 years old, at 19. Now look at it. Now you've got society and the government. They tell our kids, no, you go live with your mother and father till you're 30.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the mind takeover. It's a psychological coup.
And they bury him in debt, so they're beholding to them, to the government, to the hierarchy. Yeah.
Well, that's FDR, right? And the 19th century communist. When somebody's busted, they're pliable. They'll believe anything.
Oh.
Like Social Security is a trust, and you put your money into it, and your employer, and then it's yours. It's awesome. This is the greatest time because at least now it's undeniable what they are. They're Marxists and they're communists and they're socialists, and they've destroyed the quality of life in this country. But I think we can get it back, Jim, because of your stories and Donald Trump's policies. Thank you very much. Appreciate the call.
Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you. That's what you have to understand. So when you hear, who's funding Antifa? Well, they're not very centralized. Yes, they are. They're centralized, and their social club headquarters is every college campus.
Turning now to some national headlines, President Trump says that he will designate the far-left anti-fascist group Antifa as a terrorist organization. In a social media post, Trump vowed to push for investigations into anyone funding the movement. The White House says it's one of several actions targeting what it describes as left-wing groups that fuel political violence. Citing
who else is funding it? Democrat politicians. When they send the people's money to NGOs. And then it turns out that the NGO funds the on-college campuses Communist Party called Antifa. Oh, we're going to cover that and more. 312-642-5600. We'll be back.
Call Shaun now. 312